I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThatUmbrellaGuy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me. I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me. I'm a man.
It's that umbrella guy, clutching the verbal hammer, locking you down in this inescapable syllable slammer. You wanna step up and try to oppose me? Yeah, you should ask anyone that really knows me. I'll take your blame, your girl, your dog, and move in your home, only to get out the verbal flamethrower and consume your plastic gnomes. You drip, you whip, you ride, your bride consumed by this mic hitter, just to drop them on the market to the highest bidder. It's that umbrella guy, live from the hat rack, with elbows that hit so hard you'll think it's a nuclear impact. I mean respecting you, please, that's a word you'll never earn. Yet another lesson you clowns have never learned. Along with standing tall in pride and repping values that you feel, and not fake morals you found inside your happy meal. I listen to you with your speaking style education, wondering if your parents bred with their relations, wearing your big red nose and still thinking that you're a star, while you're forced to bump that umbrella guy inside your clown car. Yeah, it's that umbrella guy, broadcasting live to the masses, timing out full, sorry we ran out of free passes. We gotta go further and not just expose you, listen and believe royalty, we gotta depose you. Getting masked up because this flow is criminal, dropping hammers so hard, they're subliminal. Unconsciously you want me to own you, as the parasol pope is set to dethrone you. And I'm out.
And I'm out in again. I'm in as well. How's it going tonight? Welcome to a very, very special Friday broadcast, as we normally avoid Fridays. But, oh man, we got a good one tonight. We have a guest tonight. A guest that brings us presents. Many, many presents.
Yes.
Say hello to Shizzy Wiznut. How's it going, my friend?
It is going. It is going. Man, oh man, where do I begin? That's the best part. I mean,
you've had some epic. You had some epic exchanges with Bruce. Some of my favorite ones, in fact, that I've seen. He does not seem to enjoy them very well.
I would have thought he would have given up by now and just said, this guy's too much. I don't know how to fight a guy that wears a bicycle helmet, rides the short bus.
I'll tell you, I cannot believe. I was like, is he really riding you still? I mean, after everything. And yeah, not only is that, but I took it when I looked through like the newer stuff, which we'll get to a little bit, but when I looked at that, I thought, he's kind of begging, like he's like, please, the Shizzy, please, you've got to look at it. And not only that, but the people he tagged into this new one were,
yeah, that's the last one he tagged him in on. I mean, I was happy whenever I responded to him the first time that he reached out to me. I didn't tag anybody else back with a response. It was just, go away. I'm happy where I'm at, and you do what you're doing. I don't know who you are. Go away. And all of a sudden, it's now he wants to drag me into his YouTube drama, and I just don't want to be any part of his YouTube drama. I find a story, I find it interesting, I find it funny, and I want to cover it. And I think that's where everybody is whenever they're seeing this. It's just like watching somebody constantly make a absolute ass of themselves, and you go, I want to watch the show.
Well, yes, the biggest train wrecks and shit shows, they're the funniest to watch. I always, I don't know, I love watching it, but I never thought someone would bring me bountiful gifts and presents like this guy has,
Oh, no, I never thought so either. It was the craziest thing.
Yeah, spoiler for some folks out there. He, let's just pull that up. Let's talk about it. Let's just jump into that one if you want to, actually.
Yeah, we can do that. The newest epic rant from him.
Oh my God.
Well, and I guess I should lead up to it a little bit. So
yeah. But you know what? Let's talk about the exchanges. We've talked about them a little bit. How you actually, you got not only involved in this. Actually, let's start at the very beginning, and then we'll get you to how you did your pen palship, and then we'll show this lovely one. So, how'd you get involved in covering this craziness? I'm going to say.
Well, it was interesting because I was going on with another YouTuber, and he had talked to Megan, and Megan said, "Hey, this is really interesting. You might want to check this out." And I jumped in on that YouTuber's channel, and it exploded overnight. Watching this. Watching it grow, and this is after another YouTuber dropped out of doing YouTube, and so watching this guy explode while both him and I were covering this. He goes, "Holy cow! I have like 3,000 people watching right now." I was like, it blew me away. I was like, I don't believe you, because we didn't change anything that we were doing. We just were talking and having a conversation and laughing and then next thing you know, we've got people that are very interested in this story. And it's not just the, What the Hales followers. It was everybody else on the YouTubes is watching this, and they're saying, this is really interesting. You guys have a different take on it than what we've been seeing, because we're so used to seeing what Jeremy does, and the way that he presents it is one way. And then you get this different outlook on it, and other people are just, they're just like, this is, it makes everybody like put a smile on their face, and the jokes that come out and the laughter and people just having fun.
It also shows you, the numbers you're talking about, the idea that a certain lawyer has been trying to knock down is the idea that this is not public interest. And what you're talking about there, having thousands of people show up just wanting to see what's going on and enjoying the content, and also learning about something there as well. That very much tells you you've hit something that is definitely public interest.
Yes. That was the biggest thing was, this is a public interest story that everybody was covering this. And then there's these people that just, I think it could have been because they dropped out of the YouTube race, and they felt a little angry that all of a sudden they weren't the top priority, that they started going on the attack. And then you watch everybody else that's in the middle of this that, they're interested in it, but they're just watching it from the sidelines, and it's an interesting story, and they're happy to talk about it and share their opinions. And then they start getting attacked. And
yeah, the attacks have been interesting. It was fascinating to me. Like the first time I really noticed how petty some of this stuff was when After you had gotten what I'd seen as a first email from Bruce, you know, you got an initial one, you had your response, your epic response to it, and then you end up in a new email being like, look at this guy over here that's covering it along with everyone else. I was like, man, you know, how petty is this?
Well, and to tell you the truth, I really didn't read his email too much. It was, I didn't notice that I just was tagged in it, and I thought he was reaching out to try to throw shade on me. And so I misinterpreted what his email was. And so I may have went a little hard at him. Just a little.
I think it was exactly the right amount. Your first email exchange, in fact, was, if I'm not mistaken, let me pull this up here.
Oh yeah, that was pretty short and to the point, because I honestly did not know who he was.
Yeah, this is that one,
yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah. It was creepy, because I've never had someone reach out to me and ask to be on a stream so they could tell me their side of the story. I've already dealt with these people already that are saying, you know, well, you need to look at this whole thing from all sides. I was like, no, I don't have to look at it from all sides. I can see the way the person is acting. I'm not doing this to prove someone right or prove someone wrong. It's an interesting story. If you want me to cover an interesting story, then make it interesting.
Right, indeed. Well, you know, part of that's actually a very good point. You're not counsel for these people. You don't actually have to do anything. Now, for myself, I like to go through any court document that comes up, you know, that way, anytime there's something new and we talk about it, we don't have to double back and add on new things. And Bubbles, as we will call him, since since you gave that name.
Well, people call him Deucey and all kinds of things, and I think he's actually embraced the name Bubbles.
He has. Really, they even tried to market it on a shirt. I was like, oh my God.
I think the best way of marketing that on a shirt is have two really large women sitting with a dog, saying that, you know, the dog's tag has a name on it that says Bubbles with a little icon that says I blew bubbles.
They could be like, here, Bubbles. You know, you'd be like, okay, that's interesting. This first email, though, was actually pretty telling, because it's it reads as a quasi-threat, quasi-recruitment, you know, to me. Let me read his part here. So, dear Shizzy Wiznut, I see you've jumped on the gravy train of replaying my client Michelle Preston's deposition video. Now, right there, I think that makes it a threat, because when people are going, my client, you know, and they're making contact, you know what's coming next, you know, which has no relevance to anything, as being rebroadcast by What the Hales to humiliate, harass, and bully her. Now, instead of helping Jeremy Hales destroy the lives of elderly, disabled, poor neighbors and their 4-year-old child to generate YouTube content views, why not choose to, quote unquote, cover this story from an objective standpoint? By the way, why put cover in parentheses? What does that even mean? You know, what else are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're quoting somebody, or you're being sarcastic. What the fuck is that? You know, so is it sarcastic if you cover their side? You know, I don't. Oh, go ahead.
Well, and whenever he said this, it was just it was somebody telling me that I'm looking at this the wrong way, that I need to be taking somebody's side on this. And I was just like, I'm covering this because it's an interesting story. I'm not covering this to promote the Hales or to promote anything about this lawsuit. I'm covering this because this is her deposition is just, it's like watching a train crash slowly.
Gold, man. It is gold. It's some of the funniest stuff I've ever watched.
Well, and we watch this all the time. We watch people in front of judges, sovereign citizens, and the judges slapping them down. We see this all the time. To me, it's no different than somebody it's a court case that they're in, and they're dealing with what could be probably a more stressful thing, and the way that they're acting is very bad and misbehaving. I'm not an attorney. My wife is, and she would see something like this and go, "Oh, I just," it's cringe.
Could she imagine that being like her client? I mean, even now, some of the stuff that we see from a lawyer, actually not just client. Like, I wonder, lawyers, when they look at this behavior, I wonder what they think about, seeing a lawyer behave like we've been seeing. I wonder what they think about that.
I would tell you that once I talked to my wife about this, because I do have a lovely wife, and like I said, that's an attorney, and I asked her, I said, how would you act if this was your client? And she said, well, the last thing I would be doing would be going on any sort of live stream talking about it. That's just, there's no call for that.
Yeah.
And
I've never seen a lawyer
sketchy.
act like this. I've never seen one act like it, just to be honest. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off at the end.
No, that's fine.
I'm hyper today. It's Friday. I'm hyper.
It is Friday.
Yeah. I'm having to. Last night was Halloween, and it was crazy. I was telling you behind the scenes, by the way. This is a little deviation, but we had I took the kids out. And we put out a bowl of candy. That way anybody could take something. And it's funny, my camera picked up these little kids. They came up. There was a group of 3 of them, and they rated this bowl, which was fine, by the way. I didn't put a number of how much to take. These little kids were like, it doesn't say how much to take. So, I mean, they hit it hard. And then the mother comes like running up, and I thought she's going to stop the kids, oh, don't do that. No, she was like, hey, let me help you get more. So Halloween was interesting, and between that, probably a little sugar intake, a lack of sleep, it's like, But anyway, let's continue with this statement. Now, this is where it gets kind of interesting, because other channels are brought up as the primary examples of what non-biased coverage would actually look like, noting 2 Lees, they do that, and their views have quadrupled. Now, do you take that as a recruitment ask? When you look at something like that, how do you interpret that?
Well, whenever I see something like that, it brings me back to my early days of YouTube. Whenever I was in a position that I could have gone one way or the other. I could have gone where I went on the attack of people, which I did for a period of time, regretfully. And to me, it read as the same thing. I saw this going not a good path. And, needless to say, those people no longer stream anymore because they have no content. And they're just a hate farm, I guess is the best way to put it. They're looking for the only thing that they have, because they don't have any content, is this just disagreement with anybody and everybody. And it's detrimental to creativity. Because if you're a creative person, you're creating something, they're the kind of people that'll come in and they'll criticize it no matter what you do. If you're putting out something that everybody likes to see and likes to watch or likes to listen to, these are the people that show up and they go, oh, I hate Taylor Swift because of, X, Y, or Z, instead of, right. Well, do they make good music? I mean, why would you have to hate Taylor Swift because of that? I'm sure there's other reasons why you can.
Well, yeah, personally, you find people that, you can criticize anyone, and you can find legit reasons to criticize, and then there's the other side, the illegitimate reasons just to, like you said, to hate farm them, and there's a big difference. You see people that do very well on criticizing industry. I know quite a few people that criticize comic industry, for example, and they do a very legit job. They go after it all the time, but there's the other side. And yeah, I would say the examples we have, they do it, and their views quadruple, and it's fascinating how that's not a long-term plan either. You know,
No.
you build based on one person like Jeremy Hales, and the cards will collapse one day. You know, they will definitely fall apart.
Yeah, at some point he won't be doing anything. He's going to be not streaming, or he's going to be separated from the YouTubes, or he's not going to be in a lawsuit, and then there's going to be nothing for them left to do. They can go back to like hawking crystals or whatever it was that they were doing before.
Well, actually, they still do that in streams.
Well,
like, now that we've stopped talking about Jeremy Hales, would you like to buy a crystal? I was like, what the fuck is going on?
I mean, before Jeremy Hales, I was doing streams every morning. I do a stream at 6:30 in the morning. I stream from 6:30 to usually almost 9 o'clock. And I've been doing that for almost a year and a half now. It hasn't changed anything that I do there. I cover court cases. And that's what I explained to Bubbles, that I guess he didn't understand is there's more to me than just the Hales. Like the amount of work that I do on the Hales is so minimal, because it really is some of the easiest content to do. Mm-hmm. I don't have to work hard at it. Try getting up in the morning every morning and make the news sound interesting.
Yeah, man, I've been through that. For me, you know, I'm more of a one topic grinder. I find a topic and it just fascinates me. So I got to know every in and out, you know. And some people, you said, you cover a show every day and bam, you know, I find my one topic and I'm like, ooh, yeah, this is good. It hits a sweet spot somewhere in my soul. You know? So, but it's like,
but you can always go back to selling crystals, Tug. You have such a singing voice for it.
That's what I'll do. Maybe I'll start hawking t-shirts again, you know. Oh. By the way, if you'd like a t-shirt, no, I'm just kidding. I'll do that later.
I love it. Oh, that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful.
Yeah. I did think it was funny. You know, they kept talking about not monetize. I do find it very hypocritical, by the way. All these people are like, you can't make money off these folks. By the way, you want to buy a shirt? you want to buy some crystals? I've got an Amazon wish list. Would you like to buy off of that? It's like, dang, man. You know, I mean, and nothing wrong with that. Man, embrace it. Embrace the grift if you want to. I don't care.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I had an Amazon wish list. I pretty much got anything that I was off of there, which was a bunch of books, like, and they're those tongue-in-cheek perverted books, you know, like something about shaving a beaver or something like that. And just, you know.
Yeah, just something to have fun with.
Yes.
I've never put together an Amazon wish. I mean, I've got a wish list, but I've never been like, hey, by the way, check this thing out. You know?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think I did. I have a coffee for a bed or something like that. And I think those links are still up there, but I just don't have, I'm not good at doing that whole grift. I'm more, I like to just do what I do. It keeps my brain active.
Yeah, I get told I don't shill enough myself, you know. You just got to remember to do things like, let me give an example. If you like this content, make sure you like, subscribe. And if you want more, get on the Groupie Cash train. See, that's beautiful right there. That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
That was just an example, by the way. Not
you
a
are
shill,
so smooth with that. You are so smooth with that.
Let's see. Two more.
You've been at this for how long now?
About 5 years. You know,
yeah.
I started in comics. I got motivated because the comic industry was they're just garbage. The quote unquote professionals were anything but, and it annoyed me. You know, I'd been interested in that for years, and from there, the first case with, I'm going to say, due process false allegation case was the Vic Mignogna case, and along the way then there was the Deb case, and you know, there have been cases in between too, but those are the primaries that that I just found interesting. And this one, you know, something in it just shouts, "Whoa, that's crazy. Let's pick that one up."
And you did so well with the depth stuff. Just digging into it was just unparalleled to none. That's
Actually, what
where
I
I first.
found, it's people just like you, or you know, a Max Lab, or you know, there are dozens and dozens of other people. Me, I'll look at something and dig. But what I learned from that case was there are other people that are doing research, and they don't care if some of them, you know, of course you want to credit, some don't want credit, but you know, if they want credit, that's great. They deserve all the credit in the world. But you'd have people that are out there digging things up, and they need their voice amplified. So, I mean, you have like a Jeremy Hales, he's talking about specific things on this case. Well, when you get these crazy things, like Brucey, for example, some of the stuff he's been doing on, say, Facebook, like I'm not catching that. Other people are catching that stuff. Or,
Right.
you know, if we have evidence that's come up in the past that we're postings that are now forgotten. You know, nobody's talking about. Other people send that. Man, that is so helpful. I appreciate it. I've learned that in the Dep trial. You know, for sure.
And that's why I never turn down anything that people are sending me. I'm just like, I'm happy to take any bit of it and run with it.
Well, I find out a lot too. Like I found, I saw that apparently, you know, Slug, you know, Slug's had some nasty stuff pointed at him. Well, I saw a new thing pointed at him saying that they were going to sue him for sure. Like a straight up post talking about that. Someone sent me. I was like, my God, man, you know, these people went out and called him, let's just say everything under the sun. They called him some pretty life ruinous stuff, which is provable, by the way. I know.
Yes.
And they're like, by the way, they're going to take him to court for talking about their messages and stuff behind the scenes. That's it's also interesting, you know, because it tells me that why wouldn't you want them talking about that? I mean, again, I can understand if you were having like, you know, private chit chats and, you know, you were talking about your life or whatever. But when a lawyer is like he's writing you stuff like you're seeing in front of you here, I mean, he doesn't. And he did call that doxing his emails, by the way. So, yeah, I mean, I thought that was fascinating. Here, let's finish these two sentences, by the way. So, are you only interested in lazy content for larger view numbers, regardless of what the fuck is it? Whether
you're helping harm,
I thought
helping
it said
or harming
what?
others.
Okay, I thought it said what that. I was like, wait a minute.
No.
Whether you're helping harm others.
That was a screen grab. I talked to Meg and she was like, do you have a copy of that? And I was just like, yeah, I mean, just make sure that you pull a couple people's names off of there because they may not want to have their name brought up. And she was like, sure.
By the way, just noting, and we're going to get to the newer stuff. We're just building, you know, showing you how this builds. The people that are being added to the new stuff is crazy because you're talking about that mac and cheese thing. Yeah. You're talking about people I would not expect someone to tag in and be like, oh, you got questions here. I'm going to tag these people in. It's like, well, wait, what? You know, for Shizzy Whiz, that again, you know, no offense there, but I'm like, what do they care about the opinion of that umbrella guy or a Shizzy Whiz?
I mean, that's why I found it so funny is, you know, I don't use my real name. It's, you know, it's just Shizzy or Shizzy Whiznut. And could you imagine like coming after me in the court pleading using that name? It's like, what are you after Snoop Dogg or something?
Well, your name makes your responses all the more golden, you know? So he says, I'll hope you'll consider changing your approach to covering the story and will invite me on to address this a story from the other side. And in particular, this deposition, which he was not involved in, by the way. Like this had nothing to do with him, but he needs you to come on and talk about that now that he's her lawyer and Hale's purpose in broadcasting at this time. Now, your response was pretty golden. Would you like to read your response, actually?
Oh yeah, I can do that. My response was, as such, I would try to say something intelligent in response here, but I am a complete artard. I have no idea who Too Horeless is. I am an idiot that watches things that interest me. I don't know who you are, and honestly, I really don't care. I do reaction videos to multiple issues. If you find that offensive, well, go get screwed. If you don't like what I comment on, then there's the door. Open it, walk through it. Don't let it hit your ass on the way out. As being elderly also, which I am elderly. I'm not that old, but I still would be considered, at least that my wife says I am. And if another old person doesn't like what I comment on, then they can change the channel. We did grow up in that age where if you didn't like the channel, you just changed it. I think that's what it was more of a reference to.
Remember at least the idea of live and let live, agree to disagree. You know, we had all these wonderful catchphrases back in the day.
Well, and we didn't have to say it. It was just you just lived it.
Yeah, because if you thrashed around like a petulant child, like some of these people do, they would be mocked incessantly. You know, you just tear into them and fucking mock them all day long.
Oh, and you would just dig in and go even harder at them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's true. You know, I can't even imagine a world like if there would have been internet back in, say, the 80s. I can't imagine it. You know.
Oh. I mean, you know, I'm just picturing, you know, growing up watching the A-Team and how they would just, you know, inconsistently just bash on BA, knowing that BA would just rip them to shreds if he ever got a hold of them. You know, but it was all in fun. It was all in jest.
Well, that's the thing, you know, now, like Meg and I, when we were talking about it, we talk about middle school or, you know, even primary school freaking insults here. I mean, this is the kind of stuff you definitely, your friends get it the worst, you know, back when growing up, your friends get it the worst, but everybody would get it. You know, you catch strays, and that's okay. If you didn't like it, man, you didn't have to tune, just walk away, you know. Yeah. What a world, though.
Well, and it wasn't that kids were any meaner at that point in time than they are now, because you know kids are kids. They're trying out all these social skills that they're learning of how to poke fun at somebody and how to take that little bit of a jab without getting offended and all worked up over it. It wasn't considered bullying. There was bullying, and then there was just funly jest and watching people get the best of somebody.
Yeah, bullying was someone putting their hands on you. That's what it was back in the day. That there was no, I don't even think verbal bullying was right. I'm not saying there can't be verbal, but especially with kids, man. But
right,
really, you know, it was defined very, somebody puts their hands on you. That's bullying.
Yeah, I mean, as kids, we'd tell, you know, the your mama jokes kind of things, like, well, your mom is so, you know, whatever, you know, or she works at Walmart or whatever it might be, and it was, you know, and then you would just come back with a quicker quip and have no anger or hatred was in it. It was just like, oh, that was a good one. I'm going to have to remember that. So the next time that I'm like arguing with somebody else, I can come back with that one.
Yeah, I remember being a kid, you know, we grew up poor. So, you know, I remember like one of the first that always stuck with me. It was like, your mama's so poor, you had color TV till you ran out of crayons, you know, those little stupid things like back in the day. And I was like, okay, I hear you. I got you.
I got you.
Yeah, I got you, buddy. You know,
I got one. That. Yeah, it'll take me a minute. I'll come back with a good one for you.
But yeah, this is good. I mean, change the channel like that. That's not bad, you know. Right there. I like
that's all it was.
Oh.
Yeah. So stop trying to attack an old man.
Yeah, you were like, and I was stop trying elderly and old. There, let me roll over here.
I was hoping he would take this as, you know, this guy is maybe not well, and I don't want to be a bully to him because they're, you know, people get a little sensitive, and I was just hoping that he would just walk away and say, "Oh, this is ridiculous," and I did have to put the the very last part of it in there, which was, I hope that this is the last I hear from you, but if you wish to engage, I will report you for elder abuse. Or you could just find a hole to crawl back into and go screw yourself with all the vigor that you decided to attack me.
That was beautiful. I mean, this was my first, I'm going to say, introduction to these exchanges, and they were beautiful. Again, you have the perfect voice, the perfect the perfect sense of politeness that comes across. I mean, it sounded beautiful. You know, I would hear this in your voice. I was like, hell yeah. Man.
And I did. It was there's this old Cajun guy, and he gets on. He says, "Man, we're living in the same place as everybody else at the same time, and aren't we beautiful? We're supposed to be happy and beautiful, and I love all you people." And that really sticks with me. It's like, I feel that man, you know, he's just, it's like, we're all here doing the beautiful thing. Like get along. So it does aggravate me when people start getting upset and they want to come at other people. And, you know, the next email exchange that he sent me was, and I joke not, it was me misunderstanding that he was,
that's this one, right? This is the,
yeah.
Yeah. So actually, I thought this was fascinating, though, because it is to you. You are tagged in it, as well as myself, Megan, a bunch of the hater channels, and the guy they're trying to get a hold of. That, I guess he's from Law 360.
I don't know. I've never heard of him.
I didn't know who he was either, but you know, and no shot at him. I just had no idea who the freaking heck he was. Let me adjust so we can. I'm gonna adjust our.
Oh, just so you know, my name is not Brian, so I didn't really read the whole story. I just saw it was from him, and I was like,
yeah, you were like, yeah. Ha ha ha, game on, baby.
Yes, that's exactly what it was.
Well, it shows you how butthurt, because, you know, your name comes up in this. I'm going to read part of this because I want people to understand, like reading up, and it's still throwing communications Shizzy's way. Like I said, we have a new, even crazier. But here, Shizzy has one little exchange here. He ends up as the third most hated in the list of terrible monsters, apparently. It's like, hi, Brian. It's just a matter of time before this story is reported in mainstream legal media and likely even broader coverage by tech and internet media. There has never been a situation like it. The legal media reporter who covers this story will be invited on numerous YouTube channels for legal analysis on an ongoing basis. I'd love to see all the other emails you sent like this, by the way. I bet there's a million of them. I guess you're Lawtube too, because it says several that are covering the story on their quote unquote Lawtube channels are CC'd here. I guess you're Lawtube. Congratulations, bud. You know?
Hey, I moved down in the world. I don't know if it's congratulations.
Okay, condolences, man. I'm sorry. You know, let me send you some black roses. You know, maybe a little black wreath.
Oh, I could wear them like as a wreath, you know.
You can wear them around your neck along with that hat, helmet you keep talking about. You'd be like,
oh yeah,
yeah.
I should grab that.
Oh my god!
I actually do have one.
Do you really? Oh no!
Oh yeah. Most of the time, I end up wearing it. You know, whenever I'm reading these things. I'm sorry. I'm slacking again. Here we go. Is that better?
I've got to look at the image there. Oh yes, that's perfect. When we do responses, that'll be perfect. That actually sets the mood. Man, it's just like you have lit it. Send it candles for me. You've set the mood there. You're playing a little Barry White in the background. That's what that helmet did for me, baby. That's good times.
Yeah, baby.
You're like, oh yeah. What's up?
What's up, girl?
Yeah, that really has a beautiful hit with you with the helmet on. Yeah, you're like, "What's up, girl?
What's up, girl? You wanna come to my place later? We can knock helmets.
I'll strap that helmet on, baby." Like, oh man, Like it's gonna get so much friction. We got to put the safety harness on. You're like, oh shit, man.
I mean, that head's gonna be hitting the headboard.
Now he threw it like we get the good guy, bad guy here. I'm only going to go to this part, and then we'll get to the responses. But he's like,
Yeah.
Two Lees in a pod, and MELTDOWN's best began covering it to expose the true story of how What the Hale's YouTube channel has become dedicated to destroying the lives of its owners, quote unquote, bad neighbors, based on a false reality Jeremy Hale's invented for content on his own channel to increase interest, views, and revenue. That umbrella guy, man, must be hated. I'm telling you. I was like, okay, and I got that. I kept making fun of him live, so I get it. He's allowed to have his shot back and forth. If he would just embrace that.
It's like whenever you put your name up there, it's like saying, as seen on TV, that umbrella guy.
Exactly. There you go. Man, I had somebody drop me off some crickets. I have all these spiders, and you can periodically hear them like start chirping. I keep smacking the bag. I'm like, be quiet. If you hear crickets, folks, that's what that is. I got a pack of crickets. I got like 5 dozen crickets sitting across from me now. So there,
got crickets and helmets. Where you good to go?
I swear, if we put them together, man, we'd have a circus act.
Oh.
That sounds like a band, actually. Crickets and helmets.
Crickets,
it does. It sounds like an alternate, like one of those little electronic 80s type of flock of seagulls, crickets and helmets.
That I could see that. I know lots of those people too.
I do too, actually. I love them too. They're so funny.
Oh, they are, and the humor is just right on with all of this too. You can hear it in their music.
Well, he doesn't like where he's adding you. So he puts me, puts Megan Fox Rider, and Shizzy Wiznut. I was like, wait, Shizzy? Yeah, again, you've had one exchange with the guy. Like, I thought DUI guy or somebody, he'd throw them. But he was so petty after your response that you got thrown in as among the number of channels that acts as extensions of What the Hales by covering its fake reality story. Let me ask you this, by the way. Have you ever been contacted by Jeremy Hales and told exactly what you need to cover?
I've been found out. No, never. No, never. Actually, I think I've had one exchange with Jeremy, and that would have been on that content creator's channel. And I think he stopped by whenever I hit 1,000 subs and congratulated me. I think that was on his birthday. He just stopped by and said, "Hey, congratulations, happy birthday," or congratulate. It was his birthday, and he said, "Congratulations, I'm out celebrating with some friends, and I just wanted to say congratulations on your 1,000 subs." And he actually wasn't even on stream. He did that in the back room. It was really nice of him.
Yeah, man. And I know I try to do that. Like, I get busy and stuff, and I try to do that for people because I remember building my channel. It's hard work, man. You put a lot of time, energy, and larger creator comes along and they're like, "Hey, dude, good job. Hope to see you do more." That's great. It feels good. You're acknowledged there. But this idea of puppeteering and stuff, I mean, it's so insane. So anyway, yes. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
While we're here.
I
don't want to come. You got a lot, but these, oh man, when DUI guy read your answers, oh my god, that I don't know, man. That's almost like an epic opening for your live streams.
It is, and I put it on there because I who was it? It was somebody reached out to me and they said, "Have you seen what's going on?" Oh, it was the expert. Expert said, "Have you seen what's going on?" They're reading your email back to Bubbles. And I was like, "Oh, okay." And we pulled it up, and there's DUI guy and and Megan and you started reading through that, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to watch this now because this is so funny. Just watching his response, and because it was genuine as he's reading it, he's getting this look on his face like, okay. And then something would hit him and he would just go, is this guy for real? Like,
he turned a red shade that I've never seen him turn. That was amazing. Like, I was like, oh my God, that's the best. What amazed me though is after what we're going to read here, he still tries to communicate with you. That's what blows my mind. Okay. So would you like to read your part here?
Sure.
All right.
Dear Bubbles, well, look who's back at it again, crafting another intricate tale of intrigue, deception, and apparently world domination via YouTube. Truly, this saga of yours is shaping up to be the drama of a decade. Who needs Netflix when we've got you, Bubbles? I mean, the dedication alone is admirable, but let me save you a little time and breath. Your latest episode, it was a flop. Your ratings are down. The plot holes are glaring. And honestly, the protagonist is a bit of a mess. We've got everything except, facts. First of all, let me break all of this down in a way that will even your inflated sense of self-importance can digest. My channel, Shizzy Wiznut, and this is very true here, is not some grand cog in the conspiracy machine you've invented. I do reaction videos. Yes, Bubbles, reaction videos, the kind where I watch publicly available content. Emphasis on publicly available.
Right.
In case that slipped your detail-oriented mind and your razor-sharp mind, and wait for it, it's a reaction video. Right? Well, What the Hales has popped up here and there, and it's just true. This is literally just a small piece of a much bigger pie. The idea that I'm somehow a Hale's henchman, a global YouTube conspiracy, that the stuff of daytime soap, my friend, and not even a good one, most of the kind you catch at 2 a.m. on a forgotten cable channel while suffering from insomnia. Some of my stuff is that damn boring.
I love though that you're critiquing him like he's an episode. You're like, no, your ratings suck, buddy. The plot holes are there. Protagonist, yeah, that's a mess. But there's no facts and this conspiracy nonsense. You're like, have you looked at me? I love that. I love the self-deprecating humor that you throw in everything. That's the beauty. You can't
because
attack somebody like.
Well, and I don't think I think very highly of myself whenever I make fun by wearing the helmet and call myself an heart and stuff like that. I am very confident in who I am. If I would think if I wasn't, I would probably be a little more wary of saying those kinds of things. I'm happy in my situation in life. I don't feel the need to be angry at people or hateful. And it makes me mad when people get mean and hateful towards others. It's the military training that did that, I think. And that's then, of course,
if people could approach.
Speaking of fantasies, yeah, and I mean, there's something about the military, and this was the thing with whenever they went after Squid, that really ticked me off. When they went after Mo.
Some people, they didn't see that. I thought that was pretty awful just because someone was on Veteran Nation as a guest, not even involved with this stuff. But even if they were, this would be way too far. But they weren't talking about this at all. So what happens? They and their children or their child rather ends up in a bullseye. Like that's awful, man.
Yeah. And scary. Because they're doing this as a threat to make sure that these people don't do that Veteran Nation won't have guests on because they're scared of the drama that it's going to have, or it scares off a beautiful lady like
I've
Squid.
got a child raider. Just one second.
Oh,
I've got a child
hey, child.
Hey, girl, what in the world have you brought?
I'm trying to put my Oreos in here.
Or is that Oreos?
Yes.
Here, hand it to me. I'll put them in there. She has brought a. It looks like an old movie case, like one of those old plastic cases that you would put stuff in, and it is full of Oreos, and she's putting it in a suitcase.
Yeah, because I love Oreos and I love.
Are you going somewhere?
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, you don't want to talk about it?
Oh,
She's
she's packing up to go.
Look at that. Do you like that? Look, it's perfect. It's quick access. Here, I've got a live stream. I've got to do those. So will you take that with you?
Yeah. Make your money, Dad. I want to go to a kitchen again.
Make your money, Dad. I want to go on vacation again. That's what she said. I will. All right. Well, you go upstairs and hey,
Make a lot of money.
I'll work on it for you. Thank you. Thank you for the encouragement, too. I appreciate it.
I want to go to a kitchen so I see those bunk beds.
Oh, yeah.
Hot tub again.
Oh, yes. You want a hot tub and a bunk bed on vacation? I hear you. Okay.
I hit the top one because I kept going down.
I know. It's crazy. Well, you keep everything locked down upstairs for me, okay? Thank you. And shut my door. Thank you. Make that money.
Make that money. I want to go on vacation, Dad. I want a hot tub and a bunk bed.
Get that money, buddy. I'm like, all right. Yes, if you would like to support the channel and keep me out of hot water with apparently a 5-year-old, or in hot water, I guess, since there's a hot tub involved, consider supporting the channel. Thank you.
Oh, I love it. Oh, well, that warms my heart.
This is a thing too. I want people to understand. I know we have interviews and everything else, and the kids will pop in, but
yeah,
it's good. It's a moment to diffuse anything. Like sometimes these people make me angry inside, and I need that. And I think other people need it too. They need a laugh track to tell you, just like let's quote the Joker. Why so serious, man? I mean, serious.
It is.
So serious?
Well, and I found that me doing woodworking and things like that really helps out because it takes away any of the stress that I deal with. I mean, YouTubing stuff can put forward a lot of stress on your mind and on your body. It's not easy doing what we do, and people that get into this, they think that it's really easy. And there are easy parts to it, but it's not just sitting in front of a camera or sitting in front of a mic and reading a story. You have to have some sort of content. You have to be able to keep people's interest in what you're talking about. And that's not anybody can do that. I think that's one thing that impresses me most about you, Doug, is you're able to go on, pull up just about any subject, and do a 2-hour stream without even thinking about it. You'd look up and it's like, oh, I've done this for a couple hours, and this
Yellow Flash gave me the best. I'm going to say like a compliment / not compliment. He's like, dude, you're the only person I know that could pull up a freaking Twitter post, and do a 2-hour stream about it. I'm like, yeah, I mean, just talk. That's it. Enjoy yourself. But I've had hard jobs too. Physically, again, I love doing this stuff. But the one thing people don't realize is, when you have a very litigious asshole like threatening you over and over again, you need like emails like this make me laugh. And sometimes you need to laugh, because otherwise, when you look at what this person's doing, it is just outright nasty.
Well, and I thought it was beautiful that he tagged you in it, and Megan and all the other people. As you'll find out that this comes into play, he does this a lot.
Yeah, he tags random people. So, they're the hate channels through this fit about the letter that was sent to Travis. The basically the legal threat. If you don't do this, then talking about, Lloyd's RV, and they were saying Travis gave it. No, he tagged in some random people, and those random people gave it to me. I actually didn't look at the tag. I was like, was Travis even sent this thing? Because all the people's names that I saw on it, I didn't see Travis in there. I saw these other people on it. So,
Oh my gosh. Oh my
all right.
gosh.
So where are we? Let's see. Right here. Are we at speaking of? Is that where we?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of fantasies, remember that time you went full tilt and decided to attack a mentally challenged old guy? That would be me. In case you missed the memo with your carefully curated list of made-up nonsense. Good times. And this made me think of you as soon as I said, good times indeed.
Oh, man. I love it.
You really threw yourself into that one. The performance was a bit over the top, though. I mean, you falsely accused baseless implications. Come on, Bubbles. Where's your sense of subtlety? You swung hard, Bubbles, but sadly, you missed. That made me so happy that he struck out again. You gotta hand it to you, though. You got a persistence of a door-to-door salesman who wouldn't leave after I already said, no, I don't want your overpriced vacuum cleaner, which I had someone buy that day that wanted to sell me something too. And it just sort
that
of
reminds me of the days, back in the Kirby sales, like Kirby
yes.
vacuum, I was like, dude, I have lived that. In fact, my mom back in the day, I think, she had bought a Kirby. I don't know if she got it from a salesperson that she knew or it was from one, but I remember here's your however much vacuum, very overpriced. By the way, it's having problems not picking up crap. Well, you can get this extension for the low price of $29.99 4 times. I was like, yeah. Like this.
That's exactly what he reminds me of.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this latest gem, your grand narrative about the deposition. Yes, your piece de la resistance. Bubbles, buddy, this isn't some big bully operation. You want to play the victim card here, a role you've gotten pretty cozy with. But I really hate to break it to you. It's not working. Those attacks you've worked so hard, you're so worked up about, all straight from the horse's mouth. Miss Preston, or whatever she's decided to go by this week. Does she have a stage name now? Something like Shucker of the Second Coming of the Corn? Yeah, that was...
Children of the Corn Prime, right?
Yeah, Children of the Corn Star. I mean, there was so many.
Shucker of the Second Coming of the Corn. It is funny in any of her motions, like... I'm like, my Lord, I was pointing this out last night. They'll list all of her names, and then they'll have John Cook. John Cook, that's 8 letters. So like one of her names has as many letters in it. I mean, she's almost covered the alphabet. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, I'm expecting her to call her. There they go with the corn cobs again. Oh my God. And that's what was so fun about this in the beginning of it. You would get the corn cobs, and this came from damn Expert. He's the one that started that crap.
Yeah, props to Expert, by the way. I'm giving him some love too. Appreciate him. He comes in and we're talking, and right before he leaves, he starts going off about shucking corn in Iowa and like a stripper pole, and then just leaves us with that. And it went on for almost a week, just people putting corn cobs in the chat. This is what YouTube is supposed to be. Have fun. Fun, goofing off. And again, insults, like little ones, and it's amazing. Like some people, again, I point out Shara. Shara has gotten the back and forth and she did it in a way that I didn't. For me, I was like, I'm going to read this one today. This is funny, get on the groupie cash train. And I mean, they were funny. They made me laugh there. That's how you do it. This other stuff, I'm going to shut you down and I'm going to shut you up. That's something different.
Yeah.
You also know in here, you're talking about channel attacks. Did this, I can't remember the time frame right on this. Did this come before we found out that Veteran Nation was having his channel hit behind the scenes, with legal, or had we already found that out? Do you remember?
I didn't know anything about that. So I don't know if he was getting hit behind the scenes. This would have come out Thursday, September the 12th.
Okay.
So
yeah,
this
would be right. It's right in the right time frame for it, but it's fascinating when you're talking about, like, I'm just chomping at the bit to have you on my channel to launch some kind of hit piece on another YouTuber. And I kept thinking, if only they were hit pieces, it's not hit piece. Like, you hadn't even seen how bad it's going to get. You're still having fun here. You're laughing about stuff.
And I was laughing at him. I was making a mockery of him wanting to come on my channel. I mean, we're talking about this channel that has, I think at the time I was maybe had a couple of thousand people that were watching. My morning streams are, pretty steady with, a couple of hundred people coming in and having a good time and hitting with chat. And, I've got people from Australia and different countries, and they're just there to have fun and laugh along and hear the weird stuff that we were having. And that all just got knocked away in a short period of time. And people started feeling these threats and leaving. And what recourse do they have? I mean, that I think that's what aggravates me, because they're not used to this. They're there to have fun. And then all of a sudden some asshole comes in and makes it not fun.
Yeah, well, that's what they do. You get this bully mentality where somebody puffs up their chest and tries to force people away from the content, and it astounded me, because in one of his letters, and then we hear later on from a specific channel, they're saying, essentially it's just me and Megan covering right now. And, I had talked to Megan about that. I was like, that's messed up, because it's correct. And the reason it's correct is because a lot of people, they're afraid to talk about this. They're afraid of these people. They talk about bullying and harassment. And yet, if you discuss it, maybe they'll put a bullseye in your family. Maybe they'll throw in somebody's kid. Maybe if you even just pop up on a live stream to talk to somebody you like, you may have that happen to you too. Or
you may end up in a lawsuit.
Oh yeah, lawfare, man. And like, I've seen people adopt lawfare before, but typically it doesn't just involve going after every channel that had the audacity to fair use cover what you're discussing. I've never seen anybody do lawfare at that level, that petty.
No, especially not an attorney. Go hard on it like that. I mean, and most of the time attorneys are just, I'm going to tell you cease and desist. And, unless you're breaking the law, they got no recourse.
Well, you usually don't see one tell you, if you do this, I'm not going to sue you. Again, he's like, I didn't ever say I'm just going to sue you, but I'm not going to if you do this. By the way, cover this story.
It was like, so weird. Cover it the way that I want you to cover it. Yeah.
I mean, he did. You're another channel. Like, this is something, Megan's noted, I've noted, and we've seen it in your exchange. He asked you initially, you come on, you cover this. So,
well, and there were people that were coming on. It's just, well, I want to see the email where he actually said this to you. Just like, I kept the email. Yeah. Well, I mean, do I have to prove that this dude came and said it? Sure. I got the receipts, but I don't have to prove shit to anybody. Sorry. But I mean, I'll talk about it, but I don't feel that I need to dox anybody over this crap.
I got a message from somebody I know. They were like, you haven't been doing YouTube 5 years. You've been doing it 7. I was like, 7, 5. At a certain time, I mean, my channel's been around. I can't just look at the time, because I used to use my channel as a kind of like a storage place. Hey, I've got this thing. I might lose it. I'm going to put it up here, like a product review or something. But I didn't do anything until, I guess, 2017. So I guess they're right. It has been a little longer than I remember.
I think I've been doing this for what, 2 or 3 years now. And I mean, the first year, I mean, when I started, I had maybe 10 people watching.
Yeah.
And then somebody said, that's actually pretty good for first starting. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I had 8, so I remember those days. Now, we don't have to cover everything in this letter either. I wanted people to get a feel for what's going on here. Again, it's funny.
Right.
You're having fun. You're going, but I couldn't believe after this. And again, there's, like, again, it keeps going back, because he's like, oh, Bubbles is me. Oh, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah.
And you respond to that too. I mean, you're going back for it. And I couldn't believe after this, he actually still sends you stuff. That damn crickets.
No, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
They're like, let me chirp along. Baby.
Yeah.
Let me chirp along. So
this right
this
here.
one, this is the new, this is the meal deal. Now, it kind of surprised me, like looking at it, not just because, again, what's here, but who's tagged into it, what it's about, what he's asking you for. Like, when you looked at this, I took it as begging almost. Please make some comments for it. How do you take that?
I found it as like a last desperation thing, like, because I guess he's got some beef in whatever state he's from, Connecticut. I know that he's in Massachusetts now, but he's basically, I think, from Connecticut. And if you know geography, it's not very far from each other where he would have been. So it's not like he's stepping out of his way. And whenever I saw this, and I'm like, and part of my response has to do with that is whenever I saw this, it seemed to me like he was very upset that it wasn't being covered how he wanted it to be covered. And it was something I was brushing across to make a point. It had nothing to do with the CHRO, because I don't know what the hell these things are. I'm not a lawyer.
Right.
And it really was him. It seemed like and that's why I didn't understand why he was including these people to air out some sort of grievance that he has with them. It's like nobody's listening to him. So,
well, that's
like,
what and he's CHRO is what? It's civil harassment restraining order, right? Isn't that?
I don't know. I would assume.
I believe that's what a CHRO is. Again, my legal. If I'm wrong, somebody in the chat can definitely correct me on that. It's been a hot minute since I've looked at shorthand for everything, but I believe that's what that stands for. Yeah,
Well, I think so.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you covered that briefly. You talked about what had been going on, and he got mad because you kind of skimmed over it a little bit. Is that's what's setting this letter into?
I guess play? I didn't explain it properly, because like I said, I'm not a lawyer, so I wouldn't know the first thing about it. All of this that he's talking about has nothing to do with what I was talking about on the stream.
Let me show something real fast. This is wild. I don't think I've ever gotten this many giftos in one shot. So tease. Look, I saw a line of them falling. I was like, how many are there? 50 gifted memberships. Yes, I will get all super chats and everything. All of you, I appreciate. But when I saw 50, I was like, is there something wrong with the chat? Like, they just keep falling in. What's going on?
Like, everybody's become a member.
Yes, it's raining memberships. Hallelujah. I was like, good Lord. Thank you very much. And thank you to all of you. There are 2,000 people here. Let me say, too, if you've not subscribed to Shizzy Wiznut, this has been a long time coming. We were actually going to do a live stream, a little while back. I mean, it was a while back, and you had some stuff you had to do. I had some personal stuff. We were like a week plus out, and just crazy keeps hitting all the time.
Oh, I went on vacation. You went on vacation, and I think
that's what it was. Vacation time. Yeah, the little one just reminded me. Man, who knew that topic would become relevant too? She had relevance with it. So I'm going to read this. This is, I loved this. Like I said, I could not believe he tagged in all these people. So, dear Shizzy, and he calls himself Bubbles. Like, oh my God, that blows my mind too. Okay. But dear Shizzy, in that December 19th, 2022 letter that you analyzed beginning 1540 of your live stream, October 30th, the disciplinary council added, quote unquote, or not, when he paraphrased the rule in question. See, this is, I guess that's a link to you, right? That's a link to you.
Yeah, and on this, I don't have, in the email that he sent me, it actually has a document, I guess, which was whatever I was paraphrasing or talking about, and another document, which I didn't look at either. And then he sent a link to my YouTube channel, which have you seen the link on that?
I've not clicked or looked at it really. I just I looked at the documents that were there for a second, to see exactly what he was adding. But yeah, let me actually
here. I'll pull it up. I've got the unedited version of it.
Yeah, just watch addresses and stuff if there's any on there.
Oh no, there's no addresses here.
Yeah, I mean like address, like emails or anything. Oh, you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the actual image that was on there. So this is the image that came popping up this is my thumbnail, and it's also in my email message.
Oh no. So oh my God, I'm gonna have to go look at the email itself. So
that went to all of those people that were tagged in this email. We're talking about government officials are receiving this.
That's the thing I want people to understand there. When we're discussing this, we're not highlighting the thumbnail. We're noting he's asking for Shizzy Wiznut, again, the expert Shizzy Wiznut, to give his commentary on this stuff while linking that thumbnail in as, oh my God, this can't be real some days. How is this real?
I looked at it. I was like, why would he include that? Okay.
Why? You can click off, like when you put in a link, it may auto generate a thumbnail, but you can click it out and you don't have to leave that in there. So it's just something else. Oh, that put a little tear in the side of my eye. I couldn't believe it.
I looked at it and I was like, why would he do that? Oh,
yeah, I mean,
I'm not embarrassed by it, but these are government officials. If I receive that in my email, and I do work with some government entities, if I receive that in my email, I'm going, what in the hell kind of thing is this? And you know what? The first thing I'm doing is I'm clicking on that. Just imagine they shared that around the office.
People being like, what the heck? If they look at it, God, I hope they read this, by the way. I really do. I hope they watch this too. And I hope they understand too. It is pretty messed up for him to just be randomly tagging their email addresses in to just any rando out there. I mean, again, who are you in this? You're nobody, with it. Who would I be? I'm a nobody with it. So why should we end up with these people's either, I'm going to say just to be nice about it, I'll say professional emails, but I don't know that's the fact. They could be personal emails for all I know. We don't know who these people are. But anyway, since there are no, I mean, it's so crazy. Since there are no litigation expenses in the CHRO, 1 second, I gotta, unlike a certain channel, I gotta cough. Give me 1 second.
I got you. I know the feeling.
I was like, oh, mute 1 second there. Oh. Now, somebody was like, but you don't mute when you light a cigar. And I'm like, do I not? I didn't realize that. How terrible of me. What a monster. How unprofessional.
Well, I do hide it whenever I'm doing this though.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see it. And if you're muting off your mic, nobody can tell you're muting. You can mute through, like, people will see, you'll know.
Yep.
They can see the little icon that pops up, but I'm too lazy to do that. I just mute off the mic. Okay. So since there are no litigation expenses in the CHRO, and thus none would ever, quote unquote, arise, and so there would never be any, I'd ask for the client to repay. I neither write in my fee agreement, quote, you are responsible for litigation expenses, unquote, nor, quote, although you would be responsible for litigation expenses, there are none in the CHRO, unquote. I don't rather mention it because it's pointless. If you read the quoted rule, then Butler's paragraph, which I'm going to go out on a limb and say you skipped it really fast. So did you read that paragraph? No, you were like, nah.
I might have read it, but I didn't absorb it. I didn't soak it in.
It's probably because I don't feel like I'm going on a limb here, but did you really care?
No.
I'm going to say that probably wasn't the point of your live stream, right?
Nope. Not at all.
I don't feel like I'm going out on a limb here.
Nope. I think you're spot on with it.
Yeah. So,
but I don't know. You might be on the short bus with me, Tug. You might be on the short bus with me, and that's just far beyond his intelligence to comprehend.
What, man? Like, for real, some people get upset about jokes like that. For real, man, the best people are there. I would much prefer to be on, because the most gifted, funniest, greatest people, they are definitely, part of that.
I rode the short bus, being where I lived. I rode the short bus every day growing up, and I will tell you what, it was probably the best experience I ever had in my life.
I had a couple of times. We had, they'd established busing when I was a kid. They were busing us to schools that were all over. It's madness. But they were so confused that they would have us get on a bus and then go over to our regular bus, because that's how far they had to bus us. We even had to get on a bus to another bus. And we would ride for like 2 weeks, we rode the quote unquote short bus. And man, I wish I could have ridden that bus every day. People there were so amazing, fun. I was like, this is awesome, man.
It was everybody was always happy, and there was no arguments, and they wanted to talk with you and get to know you and hang out. And you would see, and then you would of course see them in school, at home, and you're just, you'd see them all over the place. These friends that you made on the short bus, and they're just like no judgment on you, none of the petty bullshit that you see in the real world, just happiness.
Yeah, I like that feeling. That's one of the things I learned. I've got a couple of friends that have Down syndrome, and they are the happiest people I've ever met. And I'm like, man, this is awesome. Like when you can go out and you can do stuff. I mean, everything is fun. We could go to Walmart and it's fun. So I'm like, hell yeah, man. Love that. But anyway, I'm getting way off topic.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
But you read the quoted rule, then Butler phrasing, you'll see how he added, quote unquote, or not, this adding the requirement that a fee letter must inform a client ever when there are not going to be litigation expenses. The rule itself does not contain the words or not.
Or not.
Oh man, I'm telling you, hits me in the feels. How dare they not know that? Ugh.
Like this is an autistic level of crazy.
Well, he's so mad. Like, again, he can talk about his own stuff, but the way I understood this was, when DUI guy was talking about it, they wanted him to like watch a video and be like, don't do that again, and he's like, screw that. Absolutely screw that. That's the way I understood it. Again, I'm sure he'll correct what I'm saying in some way, shape, or form, but I won't watch.
Well, I mean, I got hit for medical misinformation on my channel, and and they said it'll go away after 90 days if you watch our YouTube video and pass the little quiz or whatever. And it wasn't even me. It was just whatever I was covering, the YouTube tagged it as medical information. It wasn't like I was sitting there saying, do this or don't do that. It was something else I was covering in the morning. I was like, well, damn, it happens. But, just like whatever it was that happened with him, how hard is it to say, hey, I can get this taken care of. Sure. No biggie.
Well,
Slap on the wrist.
He wanted all the lawyers to get involved. And when they didn't, see, it looks very petty and vindictive to me because, you have, and he talked about DUI guy. He wanted him to cover all of this stuff. DUI guy said, sure, I'll have you on. And for whatever reason, he decided not to do that. And then we go down the road. What ends up happening? Thumbnail litigation. It just seems kind of, especially when he's saying that he joined this case to build the profile for this stuff. So the guy who didn't help him build the profile ends up in litigation. Just like I said, that seems very petty to me. Very petty. But anyway, so this is how Butler attempted to justify not dismissing the proceeding. He made it up. Then, when I began writing about the abusive proceedings on Facebook, he charged me with misconduct for those posts, claiming they had no purpose other than embarrassing him. See attached. That's a free speech issue. Later, Butler offered a quote-unquote plea deal, but when we asked him to clarify what misconduct I was pleading to, he rescinded the offer. See attached. Oh, so it was rescinded, I guess. So when he, that's interesting. If you're going to report on it, you should understand this issue. Does a disciplinary counsel get to unilaterally add words and change the meaning of a rule of conduct in order to claim a lawyer has violated it? I'll be interested to hear your answer to that. There's a little on the bottom.
And then he did add something.
Yeah, there was wasn't there a little portion of that letter at the very bottom too?
It was, those were the, sorry.
Yeah. P.S.
Yeah, there's the things that he linked to.
Yeah, because he's telling you. So check this out. This is where I thought this was fascinating. P.S. After a little more than a year in the job, Attorney Butler left the Office of Disciplinary Counsel and was replaced on my case by veteran disciplinary counsel. Names this other person. Again, tagged, the names are at the top. Once we read these, if you would scroll up, just give me a minute, who continues to baselessly pursue discipline against me. She, Attorney Butler, and my counsel are all copied here. So you notice all these people, the person that is on the disciplinary counsel is tagged in this to Shizzy Wiznut. Oh my God, with that thumbnail.
These people right here.
I mean, you see him there. He's like, I really want to hear what you have to say about that. And well, I'm copying them all in case you're interested in asking them for comments as you're part of the coverage. So he's blasted them out to a random person on Twitter. And do you think that's going to help your case, Bruce? Really? Do you think that, again, I hear people, there's another person that tells me they're involved in a case and, they've said some things about the state and about police and other things. And I'm like, dude, you probably shouldn't do that. You probably shouldn't poke that hornet's nest because that's not good. And the answer was, they're not supposed to do anything like that. Well, they're human, and maybe they don't appreciate you doing that. Maybe they will find a violation. You're saying they just made up a violation before. Maybe they'll find a violation there too. Okay, so just added to it, right?
Yes.
You missed the real issue too, is what was it called? You see, the grammar error in the title of my first Facebook post, prosecuted based on a grammar error, was Mr. Butler's grammar error, not mine.
Yeah.
You got an email based on. Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, and I think I remember something about that, and I was like, so he made a grammar error and he's bitching about it. I'm like, okay, I don't care. Like that's how much attention I paid to it.
Yeah, I would have been like, maybe I would have seen it, maybe I wouldn't have, maybe I would have laughed at it, maybe I wouldn't have. But it is fascinating. You know, this is spawning off of What the Hell's coverage too. Shizzy covered some stuff related to What the Hales, and you talked about some of the hate channels and stuff they were. And he not only tries to pull you into this as the lawyer for, you know, again, Lynette Preston, John Cook, etc., but also he tags in all these other folks. I mean, that's madness. That is absolute madness. So,
well, I made sure that I took care of his madness, and I tagged him back, all of them, because I figured they might want to know what exactly people think about him.
So again, setting this up when we look through it, you see the names that are here. He wanted this attachment, so here we go. Here we go.
Dear Bubbles, oh boy, here we go. For someone who seems insistent on free speech issues, you sure do have a knack for trying to control the narrative, don't you? For the record, I'm not an attorney. I'm just an old artard riding the short bus straight to hell. Are you sure you want to hitch your horse to that? Be my guest, but you might want to rethink your life choices first.
Oh my God. Here's my first character witness. Shizzy was not. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, here he is. Right here. I'm going to show up to court like this. That's a character witness.
Oh my God. That would be amazing.
Oh. Now, I'll be honest. I wouldn't know the law in your case if it waltzed up to me in a neon suit. I wasn't even bringing it up other than to note that while your clients might be in need, and this is the basis of my stream, that while your clients might be in need, it seems you're the one stirring the pot. For what? Drama? Or is it something else? You're live streaming about your client like it's the latest Netflix drama. And the people you're choosing to cozy up with who are openly doxing people, well, that says more about you, Bubbles, than it does about me.
That's true. Actually, I wonder if the people that are involved in some of this stuff, they understand like how nasty that stuff is, you know, doxing. And I mean, that's legitimately happening, by the way. Just a point. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to point that out to people. That's legit. Like there's doxing. You have people that are victims of crimes that these channels have been pointing toward. I mean, just outlandishly nasty behavior. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Speaking of trauma, isn't your client, as she has so eloquently put it, broke? So where is this money coming from for all these hours of legal theatrics? Are you really doing all this out of the goodness of your heart? Oh, the goodness, sweetness. Or are those podcasts and fundraisers serving a dual purpose? Let's not pretend that the Cash App and Venmo tips on these streams are making their way back to your client. I would bet a good chunk of that change she isn't even half aware of is going down, that's going down in not just her name, but her child's name. Yes. Is that ethical, Bubbles? Are you sure this is all with her consent? Not that it matters much. She's quick to sue at the drop of a hat. So I hope you're well prepared when she realizes the mess that you've spun her into with the IRS, with her 501c3. But no worries, right? Because when the shit hits the fan, you can always slink back to your stage of origin and let her sort it out on her own. Classy. Which I see it coming. I see it coming whenever she finds out that there's money that's being made behind the scenes and she hasn't received it.
Well, actually,
she's
you've
she's
seen
not going to be happy.
If somebody has an issue with something small. Like, again, I think Shara has been a fascinating point in that. Shara did how much time, defending? How many things did she say that were positive? How much money did she actually throw that way? I mean, there is public record that she did donate money. So she says there's a lot more. How much time did it take before they turned on her? What'd they do it over? Something small. So yeah, the turning, people like Madam Mayor, that interview I had with her was fascinating because she talked about saving John Cook's life. Well, not only going in and helping these folks as much as she could. Look what's pointed at her. She has vexatious litigation pointed her way, and the list goes on. People have claimed that. But anyway, go ahead.
And I didn't know about all of that, but let's also address that whole misconduct claim against Butler. For someone who's so keen on litigation and formalities, you're pretty creative take on ethics. I mean, if all you took from a 3-hour stream was one line that didn't sit well, which it was a 3-hour stream, it was over 3 hours. Of course, I think I spent maybe about an hour and a half playing music for the chat. We made music. I made 3 songs last night. It was fun. We had a
props
good time.
On that, by the way. I caught some of your songs. They've been fun. So props on those.
I love my chat. I mean, I do things like that.
Well, that's
newsflash. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was going to say the chat. I mean, they really are your channel. You always, how can you not love them for that? You're building, like a lot of these places try to take shortcuts. You're not taking a shortcut. You built, like you said, you built from a handful of people that have been there, and you appreciate them. And now you have hundreds of people that show up, but you've gone through the YouTube grind. You've built, you've gone from single digits, double, now you're into the triples, and you're like, heck yeah, man. I love you guys. I do. I mentioned that because I love the chat for this stuff.
The chat makes this all worthwhile.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it, and because there's an audience and there's people watching and they're interacting and they're having fun. Early on, whenever there was a contention between an attorney and Jeremy Hales over some crap, I stood back and I said, chat, leave these two alone. Like, I don't want to see anybody attacking either one of these channels. I don't want to see anybody attacking Jeremy if he's in here. I don't want to see anybody attacking this other, he who shall not be named, that's in here. I don't want to see that crap happen because I want a respectful chat. And there would be people that would come in and they would bring it up, and immediately I would stop. I would have to stop, and I'd have to explain that we're not playing that. We're not playing this he said, she said thing. If you want to find out my view on this, you're never going to find it. My view on this is that this is between two content creators. They can work it out. And I did not want to be in the middle of it.
You got involved in court case items. You were watching, again, somebody give their deposition. So, I mean, you've been looking at items that, I mean, you can make the argument stuff that's happening around. Again, I think it matters when you have a PR channel that does stuff and you have a lawyer that does stuff. But the things that really matter are what plays out in the courtroom. You have all of the truth and all of the lie. They are spelled out so well. And the amazing thing about that deposition, everybody focuses on her and her statements there and how, wild that is. What you don't have, though, is you don't have a lawyer that's going in and filtering anything. So you're seeing her like unscripted. There's no one to stop bad answers, and it locks her in on stuff.
Yeah. That's why you don't go do a deposition without an attorney.
I've seen people that are, good. Again, I bring up Clayton Eckard. Clayton Eckard was great in a protective order. Like he was prepared. He's very articulate. He did a great job, but a lawyer still managed to persuade that judge that they should go with the other side of it. Why? Because he didn't know the rules of the courtroom. So even if you are the best player, you still need a lawyer.
Well, and even a bad lawyer is going to be better than a worse lawyer. And one of the things that people tend to forget with this, and I think that the attack channels failed to recognize this, that particular lawsuit was not a lawsuit. That was a temporary restraining order, if I'm not mistaken. You can correct me if I'm wrong. And it wasn't something that Jeremy brought on her. He already won his case in Ohio. This was in Florida, where she's being deposed in Florida over things that are happening in Florida, that she brought the case against him in Florida. He didn't go after her. He's defending himself. That's what I find is so aggravating. He's defending himself the best of his ability. And if you're going to bring an attack against somebody, this isn't like going in and doing like a little slap fight. This is can affect somebody's life.
It did affect his life. You know, he had to spend a lot of money to actually get that handled, but it affected him, you know, while he's going around and he's noting having, you know, old pew pew pulled on him and stuff like that. He doesn't have the rights to actually have something to defend himself. I'm going to say, you know, pew pew beats words every single time. Pew pew beats camera. You know, pew pew beats whatever. So, I mean, that is the worst situation you can find yourself in. And he had his rights taken away for that. He had his First Amendment rights. They were definitely trampled on, which was fascinating considering Bubbles brings free speech up.
Yeah.
And yet, you know, doesn't seem to have a problem with any of that.
No, none at all.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And really, Bruce, excuse me, Bubbles, what state are you even practicing in again? Oh, I guess I skipped over one. Let's address this whole misconduct claim against Butler. For someone so keen on litigation's formalities, you got pretty creative takes on ethics. I mean, if all you took from a 3-hour stream was the one line that didn't sit well, then you missed the bus entirely. Newsflash, I won't be having you on my channel still again. I cover topics worth more than 5 minutes of watch time, which is about how much I spent on his BS. And let's be honest, you've got the personality of a wet paper towel. No lies detected.
I love it because it's tagged into these other people. And he asked you for this. He wanted you to comment. So there you go. He did ask you to send your responses to all these people.
And I could have responded in a very long public email and probably, you know, did a whole stream just based on this letter.
I still think you should later after you sit down and
tag them.
It all.
Tag them all in it. I'll send a link to them. I'll say just you asked me to cover this, so here you go.
That would be amazing. You'd be like, yes, I'm having a formal live stream to discuss all of this. If you would like to participate, per Bruce Medkins.
Send him a link to the 2 fleas in a pod.
Oh my God.
said here's the link where you can participate in his discussion.
Oh my God, that would be freaking hilarious. I mean, he did ask you to get commentary on it. So if you wanted to reach out for comments, okay.
Here it is. And really, Bruce, excuse me, Bubbles, what state are you even practicing? And again, it's hard to keep track, especially since you're repping a Florida client from who knows where, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Armenia, where you got your mail order bride, or all while cozying up to whoever can help you fling the next social media grenade. What's with this alias parade? Is your wife reporting channels under those multiple email accounts, or is it you hiding behind her account while trying to keep things under the radar? I'm starting to lose track of who's who in this digital soap opera you've crafted, which I mean this.
I've had people. Yeah, you're losing track on that. Well, I had people mail me and ask me about, did I know that this account or that account, they belong to these folks? And I was like, you know, because there were a lot of allegations about multiple accounts being utilized, you know, to get around channel bans. And we know there are there are definitely letters that are being sent to legal from YouTube. I mean, we saw that one on Veteran Nation, and it mentioned What the Hales as well. So we definitely know that exists. Now he claims that's the only time that's ever happened, but you know, for it to exist and them to for Jeremy Hale's channel to be well known by them, that tells me there are other letters. You know, when I read that, yeah, that's the inference I draw from it. But
yeah, there's other people writing these. Lots of people. Lastly, that little exchange about disciplinary counsel's supposed wordplay. I'll be straight with you, Bruce. When it comes to rules of conduct, ethical standards, it's really rich that you're trying to school anyone, especially those that went up against you on the matter. You're out here questioning what someone else's discipline rules should say while running a whole sideshow on YouTube about your clients, barely concealing the fact that you're feeding off their case. Classic Bubbles. Keep it up if you like, but next time maybe try for a bit more self-awareness, or that at the very least grab some popcorn, because you've got a front row seat to your own drama after all. Cheers, Shizzy.
that's beautiful. Like I said, that tells these other people that there's more going on. There's another case that's going on, and this guy, he's tying that to it. And again, there is a voice clip with him talking about the reason he wanted to get on this is because he wanted to raise the profile in this case. So, I mean, he hasn't denied it. It's not like you're just...
He's been constantly talking about this other case and wanting everybody to bring shade or bring light to this other case, all the while ignoring what he's supposed to be doing in the first place, and then bringing them onto YouTube channels. And it's amazing to me that these people are falling for his BS. I mean, he's got them purchasing, you know, these document readers. They're not even forensic handwriting analysis. They created their own college for this.
We'll go. One second, I got a kid braider. One second, but I want to hit that point real fast. Hey, what you doing?
I love you.
Oh, I love you too. What are you up to? You just coming here to say I love you? That's very nice of you.
Yeah, I can.
Oh, you give me a hug and kiss too. Oh man, that is so nice. I love hugs.
Aww.
Thank you. Oh, that is very nice of you. Thank you. I love you too. Will you do me a favor? Will you shut that door really tight too? You've done so great. I appreciate that. See, that's all good stuff too, man.
That's the best.
Hey, yeah, you can get some love there. You know, it's like, oh man, that's awesome.
It's the bug love that you get. You know, you just can't pass it up.
I think the forensic document thing was so messed up, because when you listen to what they were saying, they pretty much, in my opinion at least, they made it clear they weren't planning on utilizing this in a courtroom. They were using this in the court of public opinion.
Yes.
You know?
That was what I got from all of that. And I think both you and I covered that at almost the same time, because it was insane to me. I was doing a stream. Someone jumps in there and tells me, well, they hired an expert on blah, blah, blah. And I'm talking about morning news. I think I was talking about something to do with Al Gore or something, hell if I know. And they derailed my train of thought, you know, on what I was covering. And I'm looking at it and I'm just like, all right, seeing that you really got to have your attention brought up on this, what are you talking about? So they gave me the guy's name. 2 minutes later, I had everything I needed to know about the guy. I was like, wait, so you're telling me that this person that's been kicked out of court for not having any sort of certification on it, no training except for a training by his family's business or some crap like that, is supposed to be a handwriting expert. I pulled up his website. I look at it and I was like, this reminds me of reflexology in the 80s. I mean, come on. You're kidding, right? Like, how much did they pay this guy? Whose money did they use to pay this guy?
Yeah, that was that I thought was a really legitimate question, because how much money was expended on that? And again, was that personal money? Was that money that was collected? Because I don't seem to recall anybody talking about collecting money for that specific thing. And if they paid any of the amounts that we saw there, whew, man, that that interview where he's talking to like the news about what you can tell from handwriting, man, that is the craziest thing I've ever seen. I can tell that you had childhood trauma around, again, I'm paraphrasing, but around, I think it was the age of 12 or something. I was like, what? How does that work?
Oh my gosh. Well, and it would fit well for the toothless in a pod. It really fit well for them, because
they didn't think anybody would check that, and again, I held off for a minute, and so did Megan, because I wanted to see if they were going to file it. If they're going to file it, man, there's enough stuff out there to destroy that. But what became very clear is this was just going to pop up in social media, and if you ignored it, it sets a narrative, a very dangerous narrative, by the way.
Yes.
Something that I would say is harassment, is defamation for sure, because it says that that Hales, he didn't go through all this horrible stuff. No, they're saying that he did this to himself. I know.
Except he was in another state altogether, which they didn't know.
Whoopsie, whoopsie indeed. There's a lot of whoopsies, though. We got this new, by the way, there's been a few new court documents that have popped up. We talked about yesterday, there was a request to actually have a remote oral argument wanting to talk about the motion to dismiss. He put this in. He was like, yeah, I want this after that. And we were talking last night about there is no way that's going to happen. There's no way. Well, guess what? Today we get this quote: order currently before the court is defendant's motion requesting remote oral argument, doc number 31, on defendant's motion to dismiss, doc 17 and 18. See, the crickets are even upset about it. Or they're laughing. I think the crickets were just laughing. They're like,
I think they are. They got little giggles in them.
Yeah, I'm like, man, they're pretty jolly. The court does not hold remote hearings on dispositive. I keep messing that word up, and it's making me mad.
Well, what they're saying is dispositions.
Yes, but for some reason, when I roll it out, it just doesn't work for me.
Dispositive.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, it's a hard word. Now that I look at it, I'm like, I can see it.
It's just a weird, like, I do that sometimes. It really bothered me when I would make a video on a subject, not do a live stream, but a video, and I run into a word I can't get, it just won't come out right. I'll have like 70 takes on it. I'm like, damn that word. It won't come through.
I have a hard time doing videos because it's the same way with me. Then I look back at it and I'm like, oh, I missed this, or I blinked, or I sneezed, or whatever it is.
Yeah, you try to get it right. Like, I want it to be a specific flow, especially since I'm not on camera. But anyway, they don't do that. They don't have remote hearings on those types of motions. If the court deems oral argument necessary on any of the parties, that type of motion, no, I'm not going to go in there. Then the court will notify the parties and schedule an in-person hearing at the United States Courthouse in Florida. So all of this, Pensacola, of course, setting it up, but defendant's motion for that remote oral argument denied.
Denied.
And that rolls in on the 31st.
It wasn't just denied.
It was denied.
It was a harsh denial.
Yeah, it's like, it was denied, precious.
You do that so good. That's beautiful.
We have one other one too that popped up. So, yes, let me just,
and that's just that. So that was in the in that particular lawsuit.
Yeah, that was the federal lawsuit. Now we also have something that pops up in the thumbnail lawsuit. You know, there's three going. Anybody, I figure everybody has kept up with this, but just in case you haven't, currently we have what we will refer to as the federal lawsuit. We have the thumbnail lawsuit, and then we have the I like it. I've been going with this, the trespass 5. You know, the
Trespass
Lloyd
5.
Somebody said that. I was like, that's perfect. You know, it sounds like the West Memphis 3, or, it sounds like the Trespass 5. How dare you go after the Trespass 5? So I love it. So this is attached to the thumbnail litigation. And again, it has, I went out of my way for a while to go with George. And you know what? Here's one of the problems. They've put the name in a million times. So names are there, unfortunately. They've become, and I'm going to say intentionally so. They don't just do it because they're adding a name. They could put that. They could have put a nickname or anything that they want. And
they could have put defendants.
Yeah, but they went out intentionally to do that. But say bind through undersigned counsel and pursuant to rule of civil procedure 1150. Oh, got a Raider again. Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Raider.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's a lava flow.
Lava flow.
Mm-hmm. She brought in I can't remember what flow. This is for this big toy dinosaurs.
Yeah.
This is the setting they play around. Here, take it up and put the dinosaurs around it. That'd be great. That's cool. You found that. Yeah,
I found it in one of the pink buckets.
You did, man. That is really cool. There's rocks and stuff that go with it in that same bucket. So you have a whole play set for it. Be careful. You're welcome. She found something near us. She's like, whoa, what is this toy?
Love
it's
it.
Like this giant play set for toy dinosaurs. I used to do Amazon product reviews, and they'd send you the craziest stuff. And they sent me this just gigantic dinosaur play set. And one little one played with it, and now she's finding it. So I was like, all right, good deal.
Right. Do we need to do another review on it?
I might. That'd be funny to
how it held together for all these years.
Yeah, it's been pretty amazing that it's done that. Especially with a modern toy, But again, this is a response to, you can say, the Honorable Court recently denied defendant's motion to strike plaintiff's pleading as a sham without having a hearing. Florida Rule of Civil Procedure 1150 provides a relevant part as follows. A, motion to strike. If a party deems any pleading or part thereof filed by another party to be a sham, that party may move to strike the pleading or part therefore before the cause is set for trial, and the court shall hear the motion, taking evidence of the respective parties, and if the motion is sustained, the pleading which the motion is directed shall be stricken. So following up, saying, you shot down the this is a sham filing. So we're going to try to follow up on that. They give an example here. Again, it mandates that if a party moves before a trial to strike a pleading as a sham, the court or the trial court must conduct an evidentiary hearing. Quote, number 3, to strike a pleading as a sham, a party must so move before a trial, and the trial court must conduct an evidentiary hearing. Now they give another, again, they're giving all their case laws on that. Here, on number 4, the 4th District held that the trial court committed reversible error when it summarily denied appellant's motion under, again, same 1150, stating that it's a reversible error for the trial court to deny a party an evidentiary hearing to which he is entitled. So they're saying, hey, we're entitled to an evidentiary hearing under this. You need to be able to look at everything that we're presenting before you say, no, this has got to be struck down. So in the motion,
also they want to do this before they take it in front of court. If I'm not mistaken, this is supposed to be in front of a jury. So if they're doing this in front of a jury, then you definitely want to have these hearings out of the way, or else you could have a very long hearing. Like you want to get
hearing.
Yeah, very long, very expensive. Whereas if they bring this in front of the court, the court will look at it and they can say, okay, this is part that we should throw out, or this is part that we should definitely keep.
Well, this is a trash lawsuit. In my opinion, you look at it, again, we've gone over what he says is the reason that they can go after the thumbnail. And it has a portion of it that says that this does not pertain to, and the thing that it says it doesn't pertain to, it's 100%. Like when you look at like a DUI guy, for example, look at the size of the channel, look at the reach that they have. When you're getting hundreds of thousands to millions of clicks, per month, I mean, you are a news organization. You're getting as much traffic as many news organizations do out there. So,
yes.
So in the motion, appellant argued that the appellee filed sham pleadings and should be stopped from filing more. A sham pleading is one that's palpably or inherently false, and from the plain or conceded facts in the case must have been known to the party interposing it to be untrue. So they're saying again, this is the definition of what that is. Now, pursuant to, they give their rule of civil procedure, a court must conduct an evidentiary hearing to determine if a pleading is a sham. So they go through. Again, that's what all of this is about. So even though you're going to see a lot of moves to try to knock this out of the courtroom before it goes any further, and with good reason, 100%.
Right.
Yes.
Well, and it's
just
sorry.
Well, you can. Yeah, all the dinosaurs can go in. Yeah, take any dinosaur. And Godzilla would love to play there.
God.
Yeah, it's Godzilla.
I wonder what happened to the head.
I don't know. What did you knock his head off?
I just saw it that way.
If you find his head, then we can put it back on.
I just found it that way.
Okay, well, if you find his head, we can put it back on. All right. Well, yeah, take him up to the playset. That'd be great.
I gotta put all the dinosaurs you love it down, Dad.
She brought a Godzilla without a head. I'm like, wait a minute, something missing here. I think he's even more intimidating without a head. Like, wait a minute, this is creepy.
Happy Halloween, Dad.
Indeed. But we're going to see a lot of moves like this. We're going to see them aiming again at trying to get this thing knocked out before you end up in a. I mean, you're already in a courtroom, but I think people understand you're truly having a trial. And this should be I think this should be an easy one to knock out. I think the RV mess should also be an easy one to knock out. But unfortunately, with lawfare, it can also be expensive to knock out.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, the judges put this in August of 2025.
No, that's the federal. That's the federal stuff. So this is
the federal one.
Yeah. This one hasn't even moved forward to getting to all of that fun times. We're like I said, it's hard to keep up with. There's so many different, and like when people discuss this, and they're like, man, there's a lot of time spent talking about this case. Well, that's because you got all the players out there. You got a PR channel. You've got the lawyer doing all this stuff. Like today we talked about with you. You've got not one, not two, but 3 court hearings. So much stuff, man.
Yeah, because my talk on my channel had nothing to do with his personal issues. I mean, that wasn't the basis of that. It was talking about both of his federal case, the federal case, and this other lawsuit that he's in, that he's talking about on another channel. And it seems that they're raising funds over there. And I was very adamant about that. I was very adamant about the fact that they're attacking channels, doxing them, going after their kids. And these are people like Squid doesn't cover any of this that I know of. She's been talking about other things and working out. I mean, and Mo is talking about Laura Owens. She definitely did not want to have anything to do with this.
Right.
So whenever I see people attacking, I just don't find that appropriate.
Guilt by association is messed up. People It's bad enough. People should not be, again, attacked, period. But they shouldn't be attacked by PR channel. That shouldn't have, you shouldn't have the lawyer for these people on streams. There was also a screenshot sent to me. I mean, just some nasty business. So there was a screenshot sent to me, Bubbles, and you can confirm if this is legit. There's been a lot of discussion about it. When people were talking about George and sickness, they pulled up the likes and the other responses to someone noting that. And somebody said, paraphrasing, that, this is fake. And what did it end up with? It ended up with a little laughing emoji from a certain lawyer. That's what the screenshot shows. Now, if he wants to say that's not real, well, let's hear it. But that's pretty nasty. I mean, it's taking it well beyond the courtroom. It's taking it into the homes, into the lives, into the health of the people involved, and further, it shows this nastiness that I don't think I've ever seen from a lawyer again. Not one that.
No, I've seen it. I've seen it come from the law cows. I've seen it come from them, but I've never seen it coming from attorneys like that.
Yeah, if you're random people out there, you can't control random people. Random people are going to do all kinds of things. Now, I would argue that some of these folks have been encouraging people to do pretty horrible stuff. I didn't say which someone's have been, but I'm going to say some of them have definitely been encouraging them to do all kinds of horrible shit. Channels have been struck by it. They applaud that. They keep threatening to do that over and over again. And, again, they talk about messing with people's money, which that's not that's not a ha-ha. That's illegal anyway. But going further, again, making threats about people's kids and other stuff, that's that can get into some criminality. That's a real problem.
Well, it seems that they're not concerned with that. It's almost as if they embrace that kind of interaction as if it validates their existence. I think is what I'm looking for. It's really hard to explain. Go ahead.
Well, here's a question. Have you seen some of the emails like that came from like Slug, for example? Have you seen some of those communications where, you have Bruce telling people they're not going to be sued? If they are, he'll put his name down as a, if there's a strike or anything, he'll put his name down as the lawyer on that. I wonder if people think that there will be no ramification no matter what they do. You are allowed under free speech. I 100% agree. You're allowed to criticize, critique. You can make fun of, but you have a line. You can't be out there, calling people PDF files or ARPists. You can't be, targeting children and stuff like that. You can't do that. There are laws against it. So
yes. And I think that there will be lawsuits that come out of all of this. Maybe not immediately, because it's going to hit you whenever you least expect it, but it's going to be those people that are going out there and doing these attacks.
Oh no, I got another raid. Let me see. Oh man, yeah. Here, give me him. I'll see if I can stitch him back together later. Poor stuffed animal has busted his seam. Oh no. What happened to his legs? Where is his legs at?
I was taking for the other pink button, the two one. I felt it like that.
Okay. Well, I'll see if we can stitch him up. Thank you. I'll leave him right here. Okay.
You should stitch him up.
I will. Thank you. Got a stuffed animal without legs. Poor guy. He's missing his legs. I guess I'll stitch the stuffed animal up. He may not have legs, but oh man. I feel like I'm gonna be rated a bunch more. I'm gonna go over super chats. Do you want to stick around for those, or?
I'm actually gonna go over and jump over on with the experts for a while, and it's a sort of a Friday tradition that we get over there, and we talk about absolutely nothing, and we have fun and laugh. You're welcome to come by if you want to.
Yeah, drop me a link. If I'll see how everything is here, and if, maybe
Absolutely.
I'll see if I can free up some time. I'll definitely come over there.
Cool. I'll drop you a link in the private chat, and
Drop me one
expert
on
is
the Twitter if you would, please.
okay. I can do that.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'll lose it here.
And again, thank you for having me on. You're so enjoyable, Tug. I mean, you keep it real. You keep these people grounded, and have fun.
Hey man, you deserve a lot more subscribers, and I want you to keep with it too, because again, I think you've brought an element that needs to be here. Laughing at the stupid. I very much believe that laughing and monetizing stupid. So you've been doing a good job of it.
I've been doing a good job of it. Thank you.
Yeah, you have, man. It's been enjoyable. Anytime you have that, like when I heard there is another letter exchange, I was like, oh my God, that's going to be awesome. I was like, man, Shizzy needs to be on here now. Let's do it tonight.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Yeah. I will definitely. I'll drop you a link. You're welcome to. I'm sure that if he sees your name come popping up there, and I'll warn him ahead of time, he'll be just. And if you're able to, no pressure.
I'll definitely try to.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
See you, brother.
All right. I'll see you, brother. And chat, be good, be safe, and make sure you hit that thumbs up. You know how it is. Makes us feel much better.
Indeed.
Peace, brother.
Yeah, see you, man. All right, folks. Well, that was pretty fun, I have to say. But it was also very interesting. I've been meaning to have Shizzy was not on for a while now. And I've not had the chance. So I think that's been pretty good. I'm going to hit some super chats here. And yeah, we'll see what's there. So, Romer, 51 months, Romer. Man, crazy. Thank you, buddy. Hey, Tug, hope all is well. Got another job working as a medical exam proctor. Been busy, but slowly building it up. Happy belated birthday to Little Umbrella Girl. Well, thank you, first of all, for the happy belated birthday. And that's great, man. It's great you got another job. You're doing something. Man, my outdoor alarm thing is going off. Give me 1 second. I want to see what this is. I'm going to see if it's a squirrel setting it off again. I have the funniest video from last night, by the way. It is absolutely hilarious. Give me 1 minute. What is setting that off? I'm looking at because I've got a camera facing back there. I'm trying to see what the heck's setting it off. I can see it's either a spider or a bug antenna that's gone across it. So maybe that's what's setting it off. I can't really tell. I don't see any people. No, well, as long as they're not people, it's all right. No angry squirrels out there giving me the finger. So that's good. I just had to check. I was like, man, that thing keeps going off. But yeah, props to you, Romer. I appreciate you, my friend. Yeah, I've got a video from last night. I'm not going to show it. The only reason I don't is it's got kids in it. And it's funny though. It is so good. It's not negative in any way, but it's got 3 kids. Again, I put out a candy bucket, and you could hear these kids right when they come up. They're like, it doesn't say how much candy to get. And they just go wild in it. It's full of Hershey's Kisses. So, they go wild. They're taking all the Hershey Kisses out of it. They left a little bit. They left some for other people. So it wasn't terrible or anything. But they took hundreds, I'm going to say, out of it. But what was funny is the parent comes up, and I said, these kids are just going wild on it. And I wanted them to do that. I wanted all the candy gone. So it's fine that they were doing this, by the way. We only had 5 groups of kids come through all night. But the parent, when they come up, they start helping them gather. So, oh my God, that's hilarious. So I was like, man, if I could get the faces of the people out of it, I'm going to see if I can go in and do something about the faces there, because that's amazing. Jack's mom, what's up? Thank you, Jack's mom, by the way. Appreciate you. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Text Thugs. Thank you very much there. Appreciate it. Death's Angel, 24 months there. Ooh, alive on my birthday. Man, it's your birthday. Well, happy birthday. Let me listen. The crickets are singing you a song. Can you hear them? I don't know if you can hear them very well. I've had to shake the little bag with them in it over and over again to stop. But let's sing a little happy birthday from all of us to you. Happy birthday. May all your dreams come true. Hey, there's your Chi song. That's the best one I know. But I appreciate you. I hope you have had a great live and a great birthday. Bonnie, thank you for your membership here. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. I appreciate that very much. Thank you, Bonnie. What's up, a writer chick? Thanks for the 2. Tug and Shizzy together. My day is complete. Indeed. You know, Shizzy's a fun creator. Shizzy has a very even temperament, and Shizzy doesn't care. Like, that's the thing too. They're not going to shame him or embarrass or threaten and get him to go away. You know, in fact, it's probably very telling if these people are listening, and I'm sure they are, that someone like Shizzy is disturbed by some of the things that have been going on coming from them. Like, maybe that should should be something you look at and think, like that's kind of telling. So Letitia, appreciate that membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. Thank you. I very much appreciate that too. Man, y'all have been fun today. Like I said, I've been wanting to do this interview for a while. So fun times. Rider Chick, thanks for the 5. I prefer the groovy cash train, choo-choo, over the gravy train any day. Yes, indeed. So zip it, Bubbles. Oh, and a little something for the candy fund. Thank you very much. I do. I like the groovy cash train. And actually, I went through. I didn't realize how many statements from Shara that I missed. There are dozens more. Got another Raider, by the way. Hey, what you got? Oh yeah. Hey, that goes. Put that up in the bathroom. It goes up there.
It helps you from
Yeah.
falling
Yep.
when you're a kid.
That's true. Yeah. Will you put it in there for me?
Yeah, you
Okay.
don't want to where you're 5.
Yeah, that's great. Oh,
In the toilet.
oh Lord, she found the old box of items that are for little bitty kids, and one of them is like a toilet training seat. She was carrying it. You know, it's one that's supposed to be in the bathroom there. It's not used. You know, it's cleaned up and packed away. And she kept carrying that. She's like, "This is what you use not to fall in the toilet." Oh my god. Oh my god. I have to get a headless Godzilla. Oh man. Okay. Me too. 2 boys. Thank you for that gifted membership too. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Love seeing the gifted memberships. They are awesome. Thank you. Death's Angel. So thanks for the 5 there. Like button and subscribe button. And please share the link. Indeed. Also, let me note this too. You know, we were talking about, we made a joke about t-shirts. And we sold a few. So we've been talking about the ongoing war. This is on ThatUmbrellaGuy.com. Very easy to find. Very easy to find. That is my website, ThatUmbrellaGuy.com. You can see, you know, the throne, the plastic bucket throne, which is beautiful there. And you also have, I got a kid Raider. Let me hey, those go upstairs too. Put those upstairs for me too.
Yeah, I got some Q-tips because my ear.
Yeah. Hey, don't take that stuff out of there though, okay? Just leave all that stuff up there. I don't need those. Thank you though. She's like, I got some Q-tips. Here's a box of. Oh my god. She's helping clean. She's taking stuff that's already there. Also, they decided to put out an I Plead the Fifth shirt. I thought that would be funny. I said, we should try to outsell them for I Plead the Fifths. So we decided to put out a couple of shirts. If you'd like to support the endeavor going on with those, I will give a tally of those probably at the beginning of next week. see exactly what we've done with them. But like I said, we have the bucket, which is beautiful. We have I Plead the Fifth, but we have all kinds of stuff too. We have the sexy toast from the intro. I mean, we have everything. ThatUmbrellaGuy.com. So thank you for the help in noting things. You know, Wendy, what's up, Wendy? Thanks for the vibe. Good evening, Tug, Shizzy, and chat. How you doing? Man, it's been a good night. I think everybody was having fun, goofing off. It's been a fun one. Thank you. Alec, thanks for the vibe there. When a channel quadruples its followers, yet only hits 3K, doesn't realize 3/4 of the subs are only watching for the stupid or to help sleeping. Yeah, a lot of views too come from people that are keeping up with the nonsense that you don't have to agree with the channel. You can pop up. People do that here, but I wonder how many people are documenting and keeping up with that. How many of that live base is actually just doing that to catalog? And it won't last. That's the one thing. It'll last as long as the lawsuit's there, but afterwards it'll be back down to 30, you know. And that's I mean, that's the reality, you know. TST, thank you again. 50 gifted memberships. That is a wild number, by the way. That was wild to watch too. Seeing 50 of those hit, like it was just like, here's a gift, here's a gift, here's a gift, here's a gift. Felt like a Oprah. Everyone, look under your seat. Here's a gifted membership. It was amazing. So thank you, TST. That is awesome there. Oh, how's it going? Was that? Is that a retired? Is it sergeant? Sorry, I'm terrible with my distinctions there, so I do not want to get that wrong. Garden, thank you for this membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. Like I said, I'm terrible with shorthanding things as well. So somebody will correct that, I'm sure. You know, if merch. I was telling Megan there were a few good ones too. You know, my channel's struck. My channel's not struck. That would be a funny one. I think that would be a great one there too. But thank you for the membership. Appreciate that. Hello, 1980. Thanks for the 5 there. Vacation fun for the baby umbrella girl. LOL, indeed. I thought that was funny. Go and make that money. She's like, you're busy. Go and make that money. Gotta have a vacation, Dad. That's hilarious. And also Wanda, thank you for the 20 there. The vacation money for her too. She's like, I need bunk beds and I need a hot tub, Dad. It's like, dang. Well, at least you got your priorities right. You know, straight up. I love it. PDW, thank you for this membership too. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. I also like the fact, man, I love it when people look very happy in their images. I absolutely love that. You know, I'm blessed to have happy, smiling, fun people around. I love it. Thank you. Sandra, what's up, Sandra D? Thank you for that gifted membership too. Sandra D, I hope you're doing fabulous today too. Thank you very much. Patrick, thanks for the 5. Just got off work. Holy shite. Shizzy has a helmet, Velcro shoes on. What the heck did Bubbles do now? Well, like I said, if you caught that, the whole point in this is, again, he's going to Shizzy to beg Shizzy. That's what I took that email as. Again, begging Shizzy to cover the the litigation that he's involved in. And he put in all of these people that are involved in that case, telling him essentially, why don't you mail them? Why don't you get comments from him? So why don't you give your expert analysis? Now, again, like Shizzy says, you know, he's just some random guy out there that he's like, why would you want my commentary? Like, what's up with this? So that was amazing. I love it. Brett, thanks for the 10 there. I wonder if Bubbles and his wife are part of the Leather Culture Club with the 2 fleas. I don't know. I don't know. I felt like culture shocked with that. And like I said, I don't know anything about that culture. It's crazy too. I think I've been very I don't think I've been nasty about that in any way. You know, of course, the spin is, oh my God, they're making fun of the cult. Dude, you know, for real. Like I said, I don't care what adults do in their business. However, if I do see an adult being led around on a leash with a dog mask on, I might be like, what the what now? You know, that's just that's a little something. Now, again, as an adult, you do whatever you want, whatever is fun for you. But when you make that publicly available, I don't know. I don't know how you're ashamed of the things that you make publicly available, you know. And of course, that has led to some awful behavior again, you know. We're going to spread nastiness about you because, okay. So you public post, I guess you are ashamed of yourself. That's strange. I'm not ashamed of you. I'm just pointing out. Now I got a kid right here. I've got to not talk about that for a second. Give me a second. Yeah. What is that?
I can't pick my nose because you need to get those books somewhere.
Hey, yeah, don't use those like that though. They're not, you know, that's not what they're for. Will you go throw that in the trash for me? Hey, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you clean up your room?
I will do that in the morning.
In the morning? Okay, hey, well then do me a favor. If you're if you're gonna clean in the morning, once you get settled in, get your get whatever you want to do, settle in for a little bit, you know, watch your show for a little bit and just relax.
And do my game on my iPad.
Yeah, if you want a game on your iPad, that's okay. I mean, clean in the morning. Oh. AJ Stone, thanks for the 21 months there. Howdy, folks. Howdy indeed. How you doing? And by the way, AJ, notice the 10 gifted membership. 10 more giftos on there. That's amazing, too. Yeah, like I said, I feel blessed. Like people have, again, they don't just show up. They've supported our endeavors here. And that's awesome. Thank you. I sincerely mean that, too. You know, I don't know any other way to say that, but I do. I very sincerely appreciate you. SF, thanks for 5. I love you and Shizzy tonight. Could you mention Runkle's charity stream starting in a few hours? It's for the local children's hospital. I actually didn't know that, but that's good. If he's doing a charity stream for the local children's hospital, that's awesome. The one thing I would say, and again, this is nothing about that particular thing, but also remember your local hospitals. You know, like where I live, they need funding. So if you're going to back something in your own communities, also in addition to backing others, make sure that you back yours as well. You know, if you have something, a hospital or, you know, a place that helps out. Oh yes, cheese sticks too, right?
We might have one the cheese sticks, but we have another cheese stick.
Okay, you might hear me separate these for a second. That's too many, man. That's too many. Oh, are some of these for me too? Is that what that is?
These two are mine. These two are you.
Oh, okay. I see. Well, you ate good today, so I see. Well, I gotta open it. There you go. Ooh, that's crazy. And one other. Okay.
That's mine.
I know. These others are mine. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's very nice of you. You brought me some indulgence there. That is very cool. Here we go. All right, now go set up and do your thing. Okay, right before bed. It's almost bedtime. All right. Love you. Love you. But yes, so Runkle is having a charity stream. People definitely check that out. I'm also, like I said, I'm going to try to go over to Expert's stream for a hot minute tonight too, so I can see, depending on how things set up and how they situate. That might be fun. So I'm going to try to catch that too. C-Mac, thanks for the 8 months there. Do Baby Umbrella and Little Umbrella know how much of a legend their dad is? So we love you, Tug. Well, they tell me all the time that my channel, yes, it's good. It's sizable. They're doing great things. But I owe a large part of that to them. That's why my oldest, she's like, you know what? I'm really the star of the show. And I'm like, you are. She tells me all the time. She's actually the star here. And I'm like, well, I can't argue with that. You actually are. But it cracks me up. She's like, people have told me that. I'm like, have they now? They've told you you're the star, huh? You're like, yep. That cracks me up. Give me 1 minute. I'm trying to see if I can put in experts stream as a redirect. Redirect has been weird for me over the last few live streams. I haven't been able to redirect well. I'm trying to see if I can put that in as a redirect. Just give me 1 moment. Nope. They're changing something in the YouTube setup, so it's making a mess. Just give me 1 second. I'm trying to redirect. I would like to redirect people to that one if I can. Customization, redirect. Let's see, expert. Just give me 1 minute. Like I said, I want to see if I can do that without the crickets driving me nuts. They've made a mess of the redirect thing, though. Good Lord. Let me see if I can pull his stuff up. Give me 1 minute. Actually, let me read the last couple of super chats here, and then I'm going to try to set up the redirect for that. So I got my breakdown here. Thank you. Yes, retired and staff sergeant. Staff sergeant. I should have known that. Thank you for the clarification on that. Thank you for the clarification on that. I remember that staff sergeant. Thank you very much. Again, I should know things like that. But thank you. And I'll see Wombat. Thanks for the 15 there. Appreciate that. More vacay and hot tub time. Indeed. Indeed. Need that hot tub time for the little ones here. Let me see if I can get a link to that. It will not put in a redirect link by itself. So I'm trying to see if I can pull up his live stream. I hate how it does that. It's supposed to like redirect right over to a channel, but to a short. So let's see. Here's the channel. And they got a panel on tonight too. They got a bunch of people. So let's see. I've got the link. There it is. All right. Now I'm gonna put the redirect in here too. That way tonight, if people want to goof off, have a little bit of fun, I'm going to redirect you over to the experts channel. If you haven't checked that out, you should. It should be some goofing off. Again, Shizzy's going over there, experts on that, and you can carry over and just have a lot of fun tonight. Have a little bit of fun. Like I said, goof off. There'll be a link that pops up. But I think we are done tonight. Will we have a live stream tomorrow? I do not know. I say that. I didn't plan on having one tonight, but well, it's been a good one. So anyway, I appreciate you folks for being here. Again, there will be a redirect link that comes up in the chat. Should be anyway. I put it in. So yeah, I may see you over there in a few. We'll see how it sets up. Thank you.